We all know Gordon Ramsay is a wildly successful multi-millionaire chef, not to mention an incredibly expansive restaurant group. Gordon Ramsay Steak, Gordon Ramsay Fish and Chips, Gordon Ramsay Burger. There's a chance that pretty much any kind of food on the planet will have the name Gordon Ramsay before it and then the name of said food. And not to mention his huge TV personality, but more importantly, charity work. Charity work in the sense that he lets Twitch streamers eat and go to the bathroom for free on stream while they just play one of their videos.
I mean, that tastes dreadful. That thing tastes sort of washy and soapy, and $20 for that. He's as cheap with his crab cakes as he is with his staff. Wow.
Now, memes aside, Gordon is genuinely talented. He was originally taught under Marco Pierre White, who owns the Marco Pierre Steakhouses chain. Again, a bit older than Gordon, but an incredibly talented chef. But the thing is, even the most successful people at the top of the food chain, they make mistakes. And I'm not talking about a little blunder with some food chemistry, too much caviar or some lobster found from the Mariana Trench. I'm talking about Gordon Ramsay fumbling one of the most easiest to make dishes imaginable, that being a grilled cheese sandwich. They're called like toasties in the UK. That's how I know them, but I'm sure the Americans are going to cope anyway. Now, Gordon uploaded onto his own YouTube channel, which has like well over 10 million subscribers now. He's basically bigger than Dream. And for something so trivial and easy to make, he somehow butchers it at nearly every corner. This video is like a car accident that you just can't stop watching. Some of you could argue saying this is personal preference, like, you know, oh, maybe you just don't like the way he makes the grilled cheese. I have a plugin, right? A plugin that lets you see the like to dislike ratio on videos. It's not good. It is not good on this video.
This is a dream come true. So I'm gonna just cut nice big long slices, so I can take off the rind easily. Okay, and those pepper berries is going to make the cheese a little bit spicy. Look at that there.
So I do want to give him some credit. You know, one of the most successful chefs on the earth. I'll give him some credit. He's dealing with the cheese pretty well. You know, he's cutting off the edges because they won't really like burn well or melt well inside the pan. Thing is, if you get cheese like that and you start to burn the edges, it's basically the equivalent of eating several grams of microplastics. So far, good job.
The secret behind a great grilled cheese is to make sure the bread is not too thin. Look at that.
Now, these words are soon to be the downfall of Gordon Ramsay's entire career. Make sure that bread is nice and thick. Just for comparison, this is like the setup in an anime where they have like, you know, in episode 1, one of the characters mentions the plot point that you don't really understand why. And then 19 seasons later, it comes into full force and you realize just how screwed the characters are.
From there, a little bit of butter, okay? And always butter heavily on the outside. You'll see why, especially when you get that nice, crispy texture. Again, cover it with butter.
Okay, first minor criticism here. He's going a bit extreme on the butter. I don't think you need to use like half a pack of Lurpak just to butter some bread. Again, though, to be contrarian, I've seen like true degeneracy where people will like butter both sides of the bread. It's amazing. It's an amazing meal like doing that, but at the same time, it might, you know, clog your arteries. Again, everything he's done so far is absolutely fine. It's more just a warning of the premonition to come.
The secret behind this grilled cheese is a little bit of kimchi, homemade kimchi, which is going to give a nice spicy texture to that incredible cheese.
Now, Gordon is adding kimchi to the toasty, which is a little bit unconventional. If you don't know what kimchi is, it's basically fermented cabbage. It is definitely an acquired taste. It's kind of like Marmite or Vegemite, you know, you love it or hate it. It's not really something that you'd recommend for an easy-to-make meal. You know, I don't think uni students that want to make like a cheese sandwich at 3 in the morning and grill it, I don't think they've got like Korean kimchi in their fridge. But all of this was just a teaser of the worst to come, because Gordon then chooses to put the grilled cheese, well, the ungrilled sandwich, into the fireplace. I mean, you can literally see like a toaster in the background and an oven, but no, he chooses to put it in the fireplace. I mean, personally, when I go to Sweden and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I would make like, you know, like a grilled cheese sandwich on an actual fire with one of those grill makers. So, okay, again, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm doing this a lot. That word is having a lot of wriggle room in this video, but let's roll with it.
Nice and warm. Touch of olive oil in. Beautiful.
So I'm not sure if you saw that. That was definitely not a touch of olive oil. That was more than half a bottle of olive oil. It reminds me of this meme with Sandra Lee. She's trying to make this cocktail, I think, on like an infomercial video or something on TV. And then she basically says at one point, add 2 shots of vodka. But then she proceeds to pour for like a good 15 seconds.
2 shots of vodka.
Now, the funny thing is, this might actually come full circle because he might have learnt this from the guy I mentioned earlier, Marco Pierre White, because there's a really popular meme video that's over a decade old of him basically saying to every single dish he makes, just add a touch of olive oil. And he does, only like a spoonful or so. Problem is, he proceeds to do that with every single step of the dish. So when he's done, he's gone through about 3 bottles of olive oil. I do want to give a shout out to Marco Pierre White and Gordon Ramsay for basically saving the Greek economy.
The lentil soup's now been cooking for 15-20 minutes. There you go. So we just finish it off with a bit of thyme and a tiny bit of olive oil, which is very Italian to have with lentil soup. Tiny bit of olive oil. Tiny bit of olive oil. I put a tiny bit of oil in the pan.
And in she goes. Now, as she cooks, start putting some weight on there. And just pushing that down.
Thing is, I get it's a cooking show, right? But this like multi-camera setup, how it switches from the fireplace to the professional cameraman to the GoPro, I feel like I'm watching some kind of like paranormal activity video, but instead of a ghost, it's a haunted sandwich.
And then once you've coloured both sides back out, and just place your spatula on top and push down. And that helps to get the cheese nicely melted.
Now, keep in mind, he has said that he wanted the cheese nice and melted. It is a grilled cheese sandwich after all. You want it melted. But by the end of this video, you will not actually be able to tell the difference between this like grilled cheese sandwich that Gordon makes and cheese that you've just pulled out of your fridge.
That beautiful grilled cheese. Take that out. Turn that over. And look. It's cracking away. Beautiful. The cheese is melted. And this. Yeah, how crispy that is. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh my goodness me.
Now, I don't think it takes an astute moth priest scholar from the realm of Skyrim to tell you that that grilled cheese is not grilled. It's not even melted in the slightest. It's basically untouched because of 2 things. One, he left it in the pan for about 30 seconds to speed up the video. And then secondly, the bread was cut too thick. So, you know, he could have left it in there for about 2 weeks and it'd probably still be just as cold. Now, this was actually taken from Gordon Ramsay's TV show. I'm not joking. Yep, this was from a fucking TV show. They actually thought they'd get away with that. It's from Uncharted. And much like the film based on the game, this was incredibly mid. But you know what? I will give Gordon some kind of respect, some kind of credit. He kept the video up. He's kept the video up to this day. I'm pretty sure you could still see the dislikes if YouTube didn't get rid of them themselves. And also, he kept the comments up. And the comments are just godly. People making fun of Gordon for this simply do not understand how amazing of a chef he is. It must take so much skill and experience to burn a sandwich without ever melting the cheese inside it. Truly impressive. I like how he cut the sandwich in half, realized it wasn't melted in the middle, then cut it into a 4th so he doesn't have to eat the whole thing of burnt bread and cold cheese blocks. So yeah, I mean, again, it's a perfect example. No matter how high you are up the ladder, you still fumble. And you know what? Fake it until you make it. That's exactly what Gordon's done.
I'm not sure I agree. Actually, it's just basic chemistry.